Introversion and difficulties with social interaction during a job search are very common. It's also the reason most job seekers shy away from reaching out to recruiters at companies that they're interested in. If the thought of reverse recruiting for yourself triggers your anxiety, keep watching and think about subscribing. Back when I thought I might want to work at a top tech company, I signed up for the Outco program. Now, Outco is a program that provides hands-on training to improve the skills needed to successfully pass technical interviews. Ironically, though, it was during my time at Outco where I decided that working at a top tech company might not be what I'm interested in, at least not at the moment. But my favorite part of the program was the career portion that we had one night a week. And this is also the portion I could see my classmates dreaded the most. Whether you prefer to call it introversion, shyness, or social anxiety, the fact is each of these can have an impact on how you approach your job search strategy. And that's part of the reason why I'm out here filming myself, so that I can work on getting over my social anxieties of filming out in public. We all have difficulties with communication. You might prefer to fill out dozens or even hundreds of job applications, hoping to hear back from a recruiter, rather than having to reverse recruit for yourself. You might dread interviews with recruiters and hiring managers and wish that you could skip right to the coding portion. Some people prefer doing a take-home exercise that could take 6 or more hours to complete, rather than coding on the spot during a pair programming session. I find myself more comfortable interviewing with recruiters, hiring managers, and the team members than I am with showcasing myself through, say, a resume or LinkedIn profile. I find it difficult and awkward listing and quantifying my accomplishments. But regardless of what our preferences are, the job search process requires most job seekers to extrovert themselves. And if you're feeling overwhelmed with the amount of social interaction that's needed during your job search, here are 6 tips to help ease that anxiety. Tip number 1, practice self-compassion. We tend to overthink and make assumptions about what others are thinking of us when we're nervous. We start beating ourselves up for not being able to answer a question, causing ourselves to get more flustered. The fact is, we don't know what our interviewers are thinking. Just because you think you're not doing well doesn't make it true. Like back when I was interviewing for my first professional iOS dev role, I remember feeling like the final round of interviews was slowly slipping out of my hands. I had felt like everything had been going well up until that point. And by the end of it, I left feeling like I had screwed it all up because I wasn't able to answer their questions. As it turns out, by the time I got home afterwards, there was an email with a job offer waiting for me. My point is, just because we feel we screwed up doesn't make it true. Later on, one of my colleagues shared with me that they had appreciated my honesty about not knowing the answer to their questions. They preferred that over someone who tries to BS their way through it. Tip number 2, focus on your strengths and practice your delivery. You don't have to be comfortable interviewing to do well. Focus on 2 or 3 strengths that you bring to the table and practice how you're going to showcase them to your interviewers. The more comfortable you are sharing your strengths, the less you'll think about where you feel you are lacking. For example, when I was looking for my second job, I had 1 year of professional experience. So yeah, technically I was still a junior dev. And most days, it's like I'm always going to feel this way. Anyway, it's not like I had a ton of skills to showcase. I wasn't a genius with architecture or particularly great with any frameworks, but I do enjoy getting involved with the product side of collaborating with product managers and designers. Not every developer likes to collaborate, so that's something that set me apart from other candidates. It's very common for software engineers to assume the technical portion of interviews is the most important part. But actually, it's the non-technical portions of the interview process where you get to show some of your soft skills that help you get further along the interview process. Tip number 3, take the spotlight off of you. An interview is an opportunity for a conversation. Make the most of that opportunity and ask your interviewers questions. Not only will that shift the focus away from you and reduce your anxiety of being on the spot, but companies appreciate when candidates come prepared with questions. A couple of questions I like to ask are, what's keeping you at insert company name here? So along with that, what's one favorite thing about the company and one favorite thing about the team that they like? Number 2, if there's one thing you could change about the code base, what would it be? The reason I like asking these is because question 1 gives me insight into the team and company culture, and question number 2 can help make you aware of potential red flags in their code base. Like, Maybe there's too much tech debt, or they don't include enough or any tests. Tip number 4, crush job interviews by using informational interviews as practice. Filling out hundreds of job applications probably sounds more appealing than trying to connect with someone at a company that you're interested in. The thought of informational interviewing is probably freaking you out right now. But hear me out though. No matter what, you're going to have to interview for a job. And I know you'll get better with every interview you do. So why wait for a recruiter to reach out to get that practice? Instead, practice those one-on-one conversations with you being on the other side of the interview. Think about it. During an informational interview, you get to ask the questions. You get to dictate the course of the conversation. And if you screw it up, it's not like you had anything to lose in the first place. Tip number 5, find companies you're excited about. One could argue that the more excited you are about a job, the more anxiety it causes you because there's more to lose. And sure, that's one way to look at it. On the other hand, the more enthusiasm you feel for that job, the easier it is to turn that anxiety into excited energy. Use that energy to your advantage. Of these 6 tips, this one is my favorite. You invest a lot of time when you're going through the interview process. It's not just the time you spend actually interviewing on the 6 or more interviews. It's also the time you spend trying to land and prepare for those interviews. So why not focus your efforts first on companies that you're actually excited about? Number 6, don't forget to breathe. Get rid of all those thoughts rushing through your mind right before the interview. Take a few minutes before the interview to just breathe. Close your eyes, focus on taking deep breaths. Start with a 10 count, and if it feels good, keep going. This mindfulness is a great way to reduce the stress of an interview. I try to go for a 10-minute walk an hour or so before interviews, and after that, no more studying. I just organize myself so I can have my final thoughts ready. All right, final tips. During your job search, keep your interests and values top of mind. You'll find it easier to connect with companies when you do. Focus on your skills and strengths rather than your weaknesses. It sounds cheesy, but weaknesses aren't weaknesses. They're areas of improvement, and we all have those. Alright, that's it for this video. Subscribe if you found these tips helpful, and let me know in the comments if you have any extra strategies that you've tried that have been helpful. That's it?
Can you start sitting in the car like you're gonna drive away?
No.